Hey guys, it's Tim coming at you with a brand new Marvel Cinematic Universe video for this week. So with Doctor Strange coming out later this year, I thought that we'd talk about something that's been a lot more up in the air than you'd expect considering the subject matter. Will Doctor Strange actually contain magic? I mean, we're at a point right now where even the official synopsis for the movie uses both the term mysticism and metaphysical, so it seems like they're not willing to commit one way or the other with it so far, at least not before the film is released. Now, in an interview back in 2014, Kevin Feige did say that he wanted to use quantum physics for the movie. Basically saying that since Doctor Strange is a man of science, to a degree, he would want an explanation for what's going on around him, and quantum physics or quantum mechanics would be the explanation for how he does the stuff that he does. And I've seen this idea of using quantum physics to explain extraordinary feats in the past, and one thing that I really have to say about it is that while the subject itself is interesting, it's a lot more interesting than most writers can make it. The thing is, no matter how much external research you do on the subject, most writers aren't physicists. And the only reason why they would do this change and changing it from magic to quantum physics is that they want to give an explanation for what's happening. But since most of the writers themselves don't know what's happening, you're really not going to get a satisfactory answer for that. And even if you do, you kind of pigeonhole yourself by this explanation because now you can only do things by abiding by the explanation itself. Because otherwise you would either get called out on not following your own rules, or there would be no point to creating the rule to begin with. Here's the thing. It's magic, we don't have to explain it, while an annoying sentence in context is actually the great benefit to using magic in a story. Since magic is such a well-known concept and an accepted concept, then really all you have to do is make the magic interesting without having to go into why things are happening. And this actually goes back to my thoughts on accessibility that I went into somewhat when I talked about relating the MCU to the television stuff. The thing is, real-world physics is a lot more dense a subject matter than just the vague concept of magic. So stopping to explain everything would not only bog down the movie, but it would also make it so that your audience would be more confused by what's going on because not everyone is well-versed in how everything about physics works. And you obviously don't have to explain how everything is working because this is still a world of science fiction. There's no real-world explanation for why Ant-Man can shrink or how the Iron Man armor works. There's still suspension of disbelief both ways, but with magic you're a lot more open in what you can do when you don't limit yourself as much. Plus, for as grounded as we want to say the MCU is compared to the normal Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's still a lot of stuff in it that requires a heavy amount of suspension of disbelief that the audience is willing to give Marvel at this point. I mean, when you've had giant rock monsters and talking trees and animals, I don't see why magic would be so far-fetched a concept that the audience would suddenly not be able to believe it. And on a final note with this, Kevin Feige said that since Doctor Strange is a man of science, he would want an explanation for what's happening to him. The thing is, while Stephen Strange is a doctor, he's a surgeon, not a physicist. His expertise is in how the human body works, not how the world around it works. So while I can see him trying to figure out how exactly his body is doing all this stuff when to his knowledge the human body can't produce all these things or astral project, I don't really think that he would have the knowledge or expertise with which to figure out or understand exactly the physics behind what he's doing. So I honestly think that them just doing magic would be the best option for them to go with. But what do you guys think about this? Do you want there to be a more scientific explanation for what Doctor Strange can do, or do you want them to go more towards doing straight magic? Well, as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you've liked what you've seen here, feel free to subscribe. We have a Patreon account that you can donate to if you feel so inclined. And until next time, this has been Tim from the Hybrid Network, signing out.